George Simion?
George.
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 Romanian politician.
Yes.
You had an interesting 2024
Yes.
in Romania.
We had it.
As a member of, as you said before we started this recording, the free intellectual world, how does it feel to have your election annulled because it wasn't, quote unquote, the correct winner?
So we are here at ARC Forum, and everybody is asking me if we are a banana republic or a military junta, military dictatorship has taken over the country. It's not like that. Theoretically, we are part of the civilized world, but practically the wrong guy won the elections, and the deep state and the system that runs Romania and is ruling in the European Commission didn't like the result. So they annulled the elections without presenting any shred of evidence to back this decision up. So now we will have in May, on the 4th and 18th May, repeated elections. We are here among conservative friends from different parts of the world. I'm going afterwards in CPAC in Washington, D.C. We need the support of the conservative movement abroad. We need to help each other and to consolidate what we founded last year, the Make Europe Great Again movement, MEGA. We need to go, as Elon Musk said, from MAGA to MEGA, and we need to consolidate through common values, through common principles, and being a participant, a long-time participant at these conferences, I can tell you honestly that we have the same principles, and we have a future for our continent, for Europe, and for the free world, because we like democracy, we like free elections and free speech. So we have to combat these bloody totalitarian dictators that are ruling now from Russia to the European Commission.
So the European Union, it was a trades union in the beginning. It's evolved to be so much more than that. I would claim that the EU is now the EU SSR. How do you feel that Make Europe Great Again involves the European Union, or do you think that nation states, including Romania, would thrive better to have sort of the European Union going back to its roots, where it's a trade union rather than an over-organization that controls the nation states?
I am at the European level Vice President of European Conservatives and Reformists, which is a European party that advocates for a Europe of nations. We are not Eurosceptics, but we are not pro-European Union integration in a sense of centralized power towards Brussels and towards the European Commission. We are Euro-realists. We want a European nations, but we need to come back to the original project, to the project of Adenauer and de Gaulle, to the project where the European Union brings peace and prosperity. It's important that we assure that all citizens in the European Union has the same rights, and we are not patroned by a commission similar to what you said, similar to the Soviet Union and the same kind of commissars. So we are taking now the role of switching to the popular vote. If we manage to get the Europeans to really vote for EU topics, I am sure that we'll have a majority in the European Parliament and in the European Commission. We need to decentralize more. We need to cut the powers of the European institutions, to defund the EU institution and bring back the power to the nation states. I am very glad that today here at the Arch Forum I heard about the idea really important idea of respecting the nation states and not going through an era of post nation states. This will make Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark great again, and my country, Romania. We respect the Nordic states. Many Romanians are working there and are not causing problems. We are serious, responsible citizens, and we would like to cooperate more.
So there is the international situation is very tense at the moment. After the Trump administration won and has taken power in the United States, we see the EU commissioners, or the EU elite, as it is, they have a panic. They're panicked about what's going on. You see, Emmanuel Macron he's been advocating for a European army, a force within the European Union that claims that we should be able to take care of ourselves. And with Trump winning the election in the United States, they're pushing the United States away. They're making a bigger gap between us and trying to scare everybody into more centralization. How do you feel about that?
It's the last step towards self-destruction. They cannot decide how to put the cork on the bottle, but an European army. We, as our party that I lead in Romania, and as ECR, are the most pro-Transatlantic parties. So we advocate for good, strong relations with the Trump administration. The problem is that the current EU bureaucrats don't learn the MAGA language. So we have to teach them. This is kind of a joke, but the reality is that they are sending emails instead of having the phone numbers of the current state secretaries and secretaries that are in the Trump administration. So we must connect more. I am looking forward towards a solution in which the free world stands together. America and Europe are united and not divided, because this is exactly what Russia wants, to create a gap between Europe and America, to create chaos. And from what I see, we have weak leaders at EU level. This is why, through mega movement, which has an objective to unite everybody, we will be the future of our continent, who still hasn't spoken its last word.
The EU claims to be anti-Russian, but Angela Merkel, in her period as a politician, made sure that Germany was absolutely dependent on Russian gas. What's Romania's relationship with Russia, and how do you view the European elitist level in terms of their Russian policies? Because it's been very confusing, because they say one thing but they do something different.
In the last 200 years, the Russians, under different statal forms, either the Tsarist Empire or the Soviet Union or the current Kremlin Russia of Putin, the Russian Federation, did the biggest harm towards the Romanian people. And you, in Finland, in Norway, and Nordic states, know about the danger that Russia represents. Now, always in our history, and we must learn history in order not to repeat it, between Germany and Russia there was always a love and hate relationship. Battling for conquering Europe, being two imperialistic organizations. Now we have to protect ourselves, because yes, Germany didn't impose the right sanctions in 2014 when Crimea was occupied. Yes, Germany didn't do enough to gain energetic independence. And now they are pressured by the military industrial complex to continue a war that is useless for the European continent and the free world. We should stop Russia with the correct security guarantees and make sure that they don't do this again, because there's an MO already. What they did in Ukraine was in Romanian territory in Moldova in 1992 with the Dniester region. Then they did it in Abkhazia and Ossetia in 2008, so in Georgia. So I would say Germany, and I would indicate Madam Merkel for another crisis, the crisis of immigrants, where they destroyed the civilization in old civilizations like Lebanon, like Syria. They intervened and they provoked mass immigration. You are not a responsible leader, world leader, if you do such things and you try to mix up civilizations. There will be the biblical example of Babylon. If you play God, nobody can play God.
So moving forward, make Europe great again, the mega movement. How do we make that happen? As conservatives, many people are very much individuals. It's hard, in my experience, to get conservatives to come together. Is there a possibility to create such a movement as mega in Europe, and how would you go about it?
If we understand what dangers lies before us, we would unite, and I see that possible. We had participants from 40 countries across the globe in the heart of EU bureaucrats in Brussels at the end of January. So now we are hoping to get organized, to exchange ideas. Hopefully we'll have a summit also in Oslo if you invite us with key figures of EU conservative movement. We should underline more the democratic values, the power of dialogue, and we should learn from each other's experience. It was a nice experience giving this interview for you. I am quite sure that after Elon Musk bought X, the voice of conservatives across the globe is more and more powerful. And now, after we will solve the crisis, the democratic crisis in Bucharest, we can start working together at this common European project in which countries like Norway is included.
I want to wish you the best of luck with your upcoming new election in May, and let's hope that there's no Russian disinformation or misinformation or propaganda that they cannot prove that makes their way in again, so the EU yet again will annul your election.
Hopefully the voice of the Romanian people will be heard,
yes,
and will become law. God bless Romania, God bless Norway, and God bless the old continent. God bless Europe.
Thank you.